Hello and welcome to another day. It is a brand new day. Of course, today there is a brand new match that we're all going to be looking forward to, and that match is between Afghanistan as well as Netherlands. Both teams have got a point to prove in today's match. Afghanistan just looking to make it back-to-back wins, as well as Netherlands, and just trying to hope that they do find themselves in the semi-final spot. Looks a bit impossible at the moment, but we'll never say never until the final day of the group stages. My name is Naredi Akani, and of course, I am not alone. I am with my fellow girl, Tati.
Hi.
Good morning, no, good afternoon.
Yeah. Afternoon. How are you?
I'm good. I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. Good. I'm still recovering from the awesome game from yesterday. That was a mind-blowing game,
I
definitely.
walked over for India, and I did tell you yesterday that India just walk all over Sri Lanka in that match yesterday, and that was the case.
Yeah, it was in the sense that they did well, what everyone expected, but it was one of those. It wasn't a super win, like an easy win, especially when they were the ones betting, because
Yeah.
the way Sri Lanka managed to at least remove the top five betters, that was some improvement or some mind blowing action movie right there. As much as the second innings was like, more of like a downer. Yeah, a good game. At least one of the players for Sri Lanka managed to break their own records. So
Yeah.
that was pretty good. Something good
Yeah.
from that match came out, as much as India, most of the world records. We'll get into that shortly, but it was a good match to watch right there.
And we spoke about that yesterday with David Brooks, that at this point in time, the teams that just fail to make it to the semi-finals, at least the least that they can do for themselves, is to look at those personal milestones that they still have to, achieve. We're also going to be talking into the fact, you said that we're going to be looking also at Netherlands players who currently, I think, mathematically that sports. But of course, we will not be jumping the gun and just make conclusions as yet. There are players who are looking to make history for themselves in this match against Afghanistan. But before that, let's look at the stats from yesterday's match. So Sri Lanka, in history, is the first team to be beaten by India in the same year by over 300 plus runs. They were beaten by 317 runs early this year in January, and then by 302, which was yesterday.
Yeah.
And also Sri Lanka just setting a new record for themselves with the lowest total in the World Cup 2023. What a mess for Sri Lanka. But what a massive boost as well for India. I mean, they are just flying with that title. They have now qualified for the semi-final spot, and I just feel like the game on Sunday against South Africa is really not even going to be a test for them. If I was the coach of India, I'm resting my key players for that one. But of course, it's not just the game. There is a lot at stake here. The last time they played, South Africa actually won against them. So there is a point to be proven. There is a lot to play for. But what do you make of India and that spectacular, immaculate performance yesterday?
Personally, I just felt sorry for the fans because I'm sure their hearts were on the line yesterday. It was one of those we hope and wish for the miracle as much as the players wanted the same thing. They saw it coming, but they wished they could have done more, and especially for their top betters, they knew we could do this. But the fact that they were not given the chance to express themselves, what they could do on that field, the fact that they were all coming out with the 0-0s, the ones, especially the top five, really, who we expect a lot from, especially in this kind of level of cricket, the World Cup. So it's one of those disheartening moments. It was a their honor and definitely not their day yesterday. And that gave India more boost in the sense that even if they rotated the squad, like what David said yesterday, that in Bangladesh he has been trying to rotate their players, like to do the rotation of making sure everyone plays, but it never worked for them. They stay at the bottom. England did the same thing, the same way we have been saying they should rotate their players. Maybe in this case, it's not the time to be rotating the
Shows
players.
that the coaches run
Exactly. We just feel sorry for our players and want them to rest as much as possible.
Yeah.
But when it comes to this type of um, extreme, what to call this, extreme intensity, definitely you need to be sure that, okay, my arm is good, it's good, they're all in 100% fitness and they're all good to go. So you wouldn't want to have too many injuries. So now when it comes to this preparation, for example, going forward for this championship, the teams will definitely need to be well prepared because they'll face each other again, the top seven. So now we are and it's not like they're going to be in the same stage. Never know England. Okay, England is already out, but the least definitely those least experienced teams never know how they'll perform in the next 3 to 5 years. They would have improved. So now it's a matter of conditioning themselves again for the same type of intensity. And also the other thing what I've noticed is that it was a tricky one, but at the same time easy. But it was a nice game to watch in the sense that we're now being biased towards the Indian side. But I like the way the Sri Lankan bowler played yesterday. What's his name, by the way?
The name dribbles me all the time, but it's that Dronacharya. Wait, let me just confirm that name before we put people.
Yeah.
But he's been a very
Oh,
key player.
Shankar. Yeah.
He's been a very key player for Sri Lanka.
Yeah.
And it's that even with that player like that who's able to take out key players from the opposition team.
Yeah.
The batters in that case still failing him. And at the end of the day, it is a sports, it is a team thing. It's not just for individuals. So he did his part and he was just relying on his teammates to do the same. Yeah. But it was not the case.
But at least that's kind of performance he did out there. He broke his personal record and now he's currently the leading bowlers in this World Cup.
Yeah.
After 33 matches out of 45. So it shows that as much as they might have lost as a team, but personally his name is up there. Yeah. So that reward of performing your best is
something else.
It's something else.
I mean, he took out Rohit Sharma yesterday.
Yeah.
With just 4 runs, he took out Jill Shupman as well, Virat Kohli. He took out all the top guys. And that man is Shankar, brilliant wicket taker for Sri Lanka. So it'll be very interesting as now they fight obviously for that championship trophy spot. Because mathematically, and I would like to say that realistically speaking, they might be out of the title race. Yeah. I feel definitely. Like they're out of the title race. But not only looking at that, we've got another wicket taker for India who initially did not start the game. So because there is a player who was injured, and this is where now you and I started the talk about rotation of the squad. It's because we saw Mohamed Shami coming in on the very first match, just getting ball. So in all the 3 matches that he's played, he's gotten 5 wickets. Wow! Every single match that he's played so far. So should that injury not have happened, India wouldn't have been to take out this individual single person in that. That definitely shows that the moment you're given that chance, no matter how small it is, you just need to grab it with both hands. Exactly. So it's one of those, you just need to maximize whenever you're given that chance because you never know when it's going to come back to you. Unlike, for example, I'll always the captain, Timber. How many chances he's been getting, but the fact that he's good at his job being the captain as much as he's trying to keep up with the pressure of the World Cup, that's having so much chances, but compared to the one who was replacing him when he got injured, he got there, he was the acting like captain on his place, he played and he did well. So that shows that whenever these players are given an opportunity to play, they need to maximize and they know they have to put up something on that scoreboard. And sometimes when you're given a chance, and that person you're replacing comes back, now you go back to the shell, or you perform at most best. and you've got your name not once but a couple of times on the scoreboard. So we're not coaches at the end of the day. We don't know how technical things work behind the scenes and how they decide what and what. So we'll see. But for Sri Lanka, they must just focus on the championship and I know that in the remaining matches they will just want to cause more upset because now it is now survival of the fittest. I was showing you a list earlier on of fans who were predicting their own top four, and we'll be going through that. It's very interesting that people think that some other teams are still in it, even though it looks so impossible to make it into the top four. Just before we wrap it up, though, before we come into today's match and just talk about from the and everything else, that match between India and Sri Lanka is a match that we will talk about in years to come. First of all, there were so many records broken, not only the record, but also new records set. For example, Sri Lanka the lowest runs, and just being bowled out, all their bowlers, everybody were their back bowled out before reaching the 20th over.
Imagine.
So there was just a whole lot going on in that match yesterday. We got the new highest runs, just winning by over 100 runs. So obviously that is something that we're going to be talking about for years to come. From your side, what do you think from that match yesterday remains your highlights?
Definitely the way Sri Lanka played. It's one of those, the way they played yesterday, definitely I didn't expect it, in the sense that the way, I'll always remember this, they caused drama in my country. And that pain is one of those, okay, you stopped us from coming to the World Cup. We were cruising as well, but the way they just swept everyone out, it's like we had so much hope, because we hoped they would still maintain that momentum from the qualifiers. They would take it all the way to the World Cup. So it was one of those, we're rooting for them, be like, okay, at least represent us, since we're all at the bottom now. One of us managed to go to the World Cup. So it's one of those disheartening things, knowing that they have so much potential, they could do so much damage out there, especially their bowling attack. It's known to be really good. For example, like even for Afghanistan right here, they are known for having a good bowling attack, especially for the spin. So meaning they could have just taken those early wickets. That means they were going to be home and dry. But the moment they left those guys to settle in and grow their roots, they were never going to be removed.
It was going to be almost impossible.
Exactly.
So much.
And this is technically what happened. They left them for too long and they scored a 300. So imagine if Virat Kohli was there and they didn't take him out. Definitely it was going to be 400 plus runs. So it's one of those, we always wish and hope for the best for the teams, but when it's one of those bad days, it shows that these such things, they do happen, and we just need to move on and not hold them back, and hope for the best for the upcoming games.
Yeah, and that's where we are wrapping it up for India and Sri Lanka. Coming into today's match, Netherlands won the toss and chose to bet. Do you think that was a great idea? Do they know how to set the target almost impossible for the opposition team to chase?
Well, they know their strengths and weakness, and of which Netherlands' strength is usually betting. They've got the most experienced batters out there, and they know how to play. So, and also they're using they're hoping that Afghanistan won't perform well, but not knowing that's their secret weapon. They're really good bowlers. When it comes to setting the runs, that was going to be a trap if they made them to bat first. But now the fact that they're going to be bowling, that means it's going to be a tight game, because they've got really good spinners. And if they manage to slow them down the first power play, and they take out so many wickets, but then definitely there will be something good to watch right there.
And we're talking off air, you and I, about how Afghanistan have obviously improved from the last time they participated in the World Cup, which was a T20 in 2015. The only match that they've ever won in a World Cup setting was in 2015. So coming into this 2023 Cricket World Cup. So far, they've registered a total of 3 wins. And
Imagine.
of course, I feel like the biggest one for them would be the one against England. I mean, you're coming into this match, beating the defending champions. And another thing is that they haven't really been relying for in the previous. They've been relying solely on the batters, but now it seems like things have changed. You know, the bowling department is just as strong. So if Netherlands chose to bat first, I feel like they will be able to chase whatever score. We've seen it against Pakistan. So what would be stopping them this time around? And also their middle orders, they seem to have form as well. So it's definitely going to be an interesting game. Afghanistan, if they win today's match, chances of them making it into the top 4 now remain live. So it is a do or die for Afghanistan in this match.
Definitely, because if you look at this, if you look at the key players for Afghanistan, they've got Ibrahim Zaraj, who is currently the Afghanistan leading run scorer with 305 runs. Then they've got Rashid Khan, currently is the leading wicket taker in this tournament with 19 wickets. So it's like they're not totally lost as much as Netherlands. They've Max, who's their top run scorer for the tournament with 235. So it's one of those 50-50 type of things that it can go either way. Now it's a matter of knowing what you can do, and if they read properly the pitch where they're playing today at the Ikan Cricket Stadium, it's known mostly to be a bowling paradise, especially now it's traditionally flat. So meaning
So
more.
this would be ideal for the people who decide to bowl first.
Exactly. So you need to maximize with your spinners, because you know the moment the ball turns, it's going to do wonders removing those people. So the only tip I can give for both of them, if you are betting first, at least be patient. Don't hit the what you call those big shots at the same time, because it might be, I don't know, you might think it has gone over the boundary, yet there's just someone underneath waiting to catch it for you, and you shouldn't like literally do unnecessary mistakes. So you should avoid exactly. And they should work on mostly doing their partnership, rotating that strike and building that partnership. That's what I would do if I was in the betting area. That I'll just take it easy, make sure I settle in, see the ground changing on my side. If you see that ball, you can hit it now. Sure, go for it. But then for the bowling side, the tip I would say, they should just start up with a tight lineup. Like if you can, just remove the people before they set in
as fast as
you can. You shouldn't make it too easy for them to settle in. And also, you just use the variation. Either you come with your seamers, they should both their pace, and then you switch it up with the spin just to confuse them instead of making it obvious that you come with the seamers, then spin, and then also you attack in the stumps. That they should just make sure if they're being accurate, if the batter misses the ball, you know the stumps are gone. So just having to do the attacking game.
So then that would mean you need to be very analytic going into this match as a bowler who will be bowling first, especially in the first 10 overs. Just make sure that you get as many wickets before they settle in. Because if they settle in, then they're going to make it almost impossible for you to take them out, especially in the second power play. And also, the captain of Netherlands said that they are not afraid of Afghanistan. They know that they're not going to be able to cause an upset, especially against them. So confidence also plays a role, especially coming from the captain into that match.
Definitely it does. Goes a long way, because you need that motivation. Once you're in that crease, the only thing you have is just you and the bat. So if you just let what's happening around you discourage you, and you also don't have that self-confidence at the same time, you're going to face challenges, and that's when you overthink. You'll be like, okay, how am I supposed to do that? The moment you do that, you're not concentrating on that ball. Even when it comes to you, you won't see it. The moment you see it, it's gone. So you just need to keep up that positive vibe around yourself, encourage yourself. The moment they hit you, like if you're a bowler, they hit you those sixes in the post, you shouldn't cry because you know you've got chances to make up for those. So it's one of those self-motivation type of thing. And if you have a captain who's always there for you, knowing he has your back, that's even better. And even when it comes to the coaches, when they shout at you, but at that ground, it's the captain who has the biggest say. So it's all about teamwork at the end of the day.
And of course, we have to look at the last five ODIs, the most recent one, Afghanistan and Netherlands. We spoke earlier on about obviously Netherlands having an upper hand. And, well, you said it was a 50-50 situation.
Yeah.
Also, when you look at Google, just what we did earlier on, Google is giving Afghanistan 70 something percent to win the match, and almost 20 something for Netherlands to win the match. Usually, when a team goes into a match as the underdogs, that's when they're able to cause, just the most problems for the team that is set to be the bigger dog.
Yeah.
Netherlands in the five matches, they've lost, won, lost, and won. So both teams are coming from wins. But Afghanistan, the difference between the two is that Afghanistan have won more games than they've lost more games in the last five games. Where teams seems to be dropping the ball in the last most crucial part of the tournament, either the team for whatever reason. They've been that team that has been able to get the wins. To understand that this is the most crucial time of the stage, and we have to collect as many points as we can.
Yeah, definitely they've been doing that. But if you compare this, last time we were talking about houses, things to be right in a way. But check out the betting phase, like lineup for the two teams in the first power play. In the betting order, first power play, Afghanistan has had 6 innings. The runs are 296, meaning they're averaging around 59 in the first power play. Then Netherlands on the other side, they are on 237, which is still favoring.
In how many innings?
It's same 6 innings and 6 batters, meaning more people that would have been taken out, averaging around 21 runs in that first power play. And the second power play, the Afghanistan is 798 runs in total of 6 innings, the same ones, and from 12 players. Then the average is around 27.5. Then for Netherlands, from 14 players, more players as usual, 717, then averaging around 21. So it shows, when it comes to these power plays, Afghanistan, they usually maximize the first power play. They make sure they score the most runs, and then second power play, they're not so bad compared to Netherlands. Then on the third power play, they try to go up again, but it won't be as good as the first power play because the top orders would have gone. It shows how much damage the middle order and the tail enders do. But for Netherlands, it's not the case. It's like their top order is very good. The moment they go down, so is their betting skills up to the end. So it's one of those tricky situations. How they're going to survive here, I'm not so sure. But I'm sure the top order will try to stay in the crease for the longest. And considering they've got those personal steps they need to accomplish at the same time. So it's one of those, it's a tricky situation. And like what you're saying, that Afghanistan has been doing well in these past games and they're really seeming to be improving in every situ game. And what I've noticed is that with the Asian teams, the teams this side, they're well balanced in the sense that they've got the top order and the tail enders. They're almost the same. Like everyone else, they can score those runs. They can rely on them. Unlike in other countries, the ones at the end, really, it's the end of the game, really. They might take time to come out, but then they're not putting much on that scoreboard compared to the teams this side. Then even if you look at the bowling side, um, Netherlands has an upper hand when it comes to the bowling. Yeah, it seems like they've got stronger seamers compared to Afghanistan, and that of which that is true.
Yeah.
Afghanistan is mostly known for the spinners, and of which at times they rarely place the spinners that much compared to the seamers. So that means in the bowling area, it's going to be quite interesting. Maybe that's where they will face most of the challenges, really.
Sure. And I love that you just mentioning, because over the years, especially in World Cup settings, Afghanistan has been relying more on their top orders. But it seems now that that's not longer the case. They seem to have fixed their problems. The middle order seems to be very decent as well. So just speaking about that, there's also going to be players who are looking to make milestones for themselves.
Definitely.
One of those players for Afghanistan being Mohammed Nabi, who's just 2 6s away from completing a whole 160 sixes in ODIs. So if he does get two, not even like back to back, but as long as he just makes sure that he's not bowled out before reaching that milestone of scoring 2 6s, then he becomes one of the players for Afghanistan to reach 160s, 106s in an ODI match. So of course there are a lot of players as well who just want to make that for themselves.
And also I'm also seeing here from the states that they've got for the likes of Scott Edwards versus Afghanistan, he's well known to be scoring over 50 plus runs. So he wants to see now this year, will he do the same thing of scoring more than 50 runs? And also the other one that we've got from Afghanistan, Mujabi Rihami, is one away from taking 100 ODI wickets. So he just needs that one wicket, and he knows he has been set, either win or lose. He knows that he's set, and if he gets there today, he will be the fourth Afghanistan bowler to reach that landmark. So it's one of those, I'm going to be in the book of records in my own country. Exactly. So it's one of those, everyone is today is just there to work on the team winning. At the same time, those personal scores, because they can see that it's now or never. They're only left exactly. So they're only left with 2 games, really. Okay, today's one and the next one, then that's it. There are no more ways to put more records when it comes to the World Cup until the next World Cup, really.
Just speaking of players, we also have a Netherlands player who's just also looking to make 1,000 records, that being Vikramjit, who only needs 12 runs to complete 1,000 runs for Netherlands in international cricket. So there is a lot of stake. There is a lot to be played for. But coming back to the States, these two teams have played a total of 9 matches. Of course, with Afghanistan winning 7 of those matches, with Netherlands only winning 2 of those. And I guess that's why Google is still giving us the same probability, win probability, favoring Afghanistan, maybe based on the current form of Afghanistan. They're coming from a win, back-to-back wins. With Netherlands, on the other hand, not too shabby as well, coming off from a win. However, Afghanistan have got more players that really know how to get the runs in the earliest they can, So just looking at that and the stats that favor Afghanistan, I think that whoever needs it most today will be the one that wins the match today. And the one that needs it most, it's definitely Afghanistan. They are gunning for that top 4 spot. And I believe that that's going to be one of the teams that will either dethrone New Zealand or Australia in that top 4 spot fight. But as it seems, it looks like that team might actually be New Zealand, because they seem to be dropping the ball towards the end of that group stage.
Yeah, definitely. Because I totally agree with what you're saying, in the sense that these small teams, they seem to be just causing havoc. And as for New Zealand, I don't know what's happening. All this time, in the beginning of this tournament, they were at the top. Now it's literally they are going all the way to the bottom. We don't even know what's going on. And we remember when we were talking about Australia, when it was number 7, it has been working its way up to the top 4 now. So, and what I've noticed coming to this today's match is based on the stats. I've seen something interesting that Afghanistan's highest ODI score against Netherlands 23-6. And while for Netherlands' highest score against Afghanistan is 263-8. That's something to look forward to, right?
That's a very huge gap between the two teams. That should be interesting to see who now gets to keep it at that momentum.
It shows that how much effort once one team puts, they can take it all the way. For example, Afghanistan, if they're in it in that zone, saying, okay, now we're betting first, we need to set that score.
Yeah.
They definitely do so. And when it comes to the Netherlands side, it shows it's not so easy. Because if it's for 8, that means they would have struggled really hard to get there.
Yeah. And just on a very lighter note, as we're going to be looking at more stats, based on what the fans think. I showed you the list earlier on, and I'm just gonna, share it with everybody else.
Yeah.
So these are the results that people think this is what's gonna happen, in that title for the top 4 spot. India has already qualified. South Africa, well, the fans are saying that it's 99% done. I think so too. Surely you do too.
Definitely, but the net run rate is definitely going to drop on Sunday against SA. So,
India.
Yeah, India.
Okay.
SA will be at the top in the sense that they have the higher net run rate. That's what I'm looking at right now. Whereas the rankings, the number of wins doesn't matter for me. I'm for the numbers.
So Team South Africa is winning that one.
Exactly.
Cool. So fans also think that Australia have got a 77% chance of making it to the top 4. We can all agree on that one.
Yeah, they've been doing well. It shows that they really want to be part of the top 4. So it's not a problem. And if you put in the hard work, sure, they can go the way.
This is where it gets interesting now. New Zealand with a 61% chance of making it there, but look who's coming after them. Afghanistan with a 36% chance. I would actually swap it and just give it to Afghanistan, that 61%, and say they stand a much better chance of winning and just making it to a top 4. And I'm basing that on the record of New Zealand in the past few games. Like you say, it seems to be going down. They are sinking down. They are losing momentum at a very crucial, at the wrong time of the tournament. And of course, they're saying that Pakistan has an 18% chance of making the top 4. That almost seems out of reach for them. Netherlands, 7%. So what are they paying for today? Championship spot.
Exactly. Survival of the fittest.
Survival of the fittest, indeed. Sri Lanka with a 0.7%, so it's as good as Zambia out. England with 0.4%, and Bangladesh being officially eliminated from the title race. What a list! What a list! Yeah. So for me, I just feel like between number 3 and 4, it's going to be a very tight one between New Zealand and Afghanistan.
Well, yeah, definitely. It's going to be a tight one in the sense that New Zealand could be having that wake up moment. You never know what they can do. We have been seeing how they have been playing as much as they lost the other games, but we know what they can do. If they put it all out there, they know they can play. They've got the experience. They've got both the batters and the bowlers, and literally, they just need to wake up and pull up their socks. And not that I'm putting away Afghanistan, of which they've been doing well, but I feel it's one of those teams who are just there to just cause problems and not make it to the finals. So in the sense that, yes, even if they make it to the top 4, that would be great. They would have broken that record that we once in the same work towards being in the finals. But for New Zealand, it's one of those they are the seniors technically, so they just need to behave like that. It's like New Zealand and Australia. It's either one of the two. As much as Australia has more players who have broken more records, those are the battles which they're supposed to survive on, not the Afghanistan one. Not that they can't make it, they can, but it's now a matter of either Aussie or New Zealand, that type of competition, including Afghanistan, because they've been technically earning the points, so they deserve to be up there as well.
It should be a prize, I think, for this one again.
Yeah, the most improved.
The most improved, and whoever that gets that top 4, predictions right. Actually, we should be doing that.
Definitely.
I say that whoever that wins that prediction will definitely get something. top four, I would say for me, India, South Africa, Australia, Afghanistan. I'm really putting my hand on the table for Afghanistan.
Definitely, we'll see how they'll perform today.
So we're basing it on that.
Yeah.
What's your prediction? It's on record, by the way, so if you want to put it back and just play it back.
Just play it back.
Yeah.
My record, I'm going to be biased. It's at the top. India, New Zealand and Aussie.
So as it is right now, nothing's changing.
That's a tricky one in the sense that it's a sticky situation type of thing. I'm basing on the experience these teams have, but after today's win, if they manage to win against Netherlands, and of which Netherlands beat SA, it means that they've gained that experience again to face the bigger fish. So Afghanistan is one of those 50-50 New Zealand, Afghanistan type of thing. So it's one of those, the hard ones, Afghanistan, and the head is saying, be practical, it's New Zealand. So it's a tricky one.
All right. So we are going to be putting Taz on the spot as well and just ask her for, her top four predictions. But of course, we have to go and talk about that most important game of the day. Pakistan and Netherlands, Afghanistan obviously gunning for that top four spot, looking to dethrone New Zealand from that one. So we have to bring in Tez and just get her views. Tez, thank you so much for your time. Welcome to World Cup Mania.
Hi, thank you guys a lot. It's great to join you.
Are you well? We're doing good. How are you?
I'm well, thanks. A bit under the weather. The cloud of smoke got me down in Delhi, but not down enough to miss a couple of good games of cricket.
Yeah, and we are wishing you a very speedy recovery. Yeah. I'm with Tandy, and I know that she's doing good. Are you okay?
I'm good.
Okay. Tez, we just need a few minutes of your time. Most important match today for the two teams, but most importantly for Afghanistan, who are just looking to make a name for themselves, to make sure that they remain in the title race for that top four spot. How do you see this game between the two teams panning out today?
Yeah, it's definitely a big game. Both teams are out here, not even fighting for a top 8 spot, but they still see themselves in a position to be able to make it into the top 4. So, and if anything, both these teams have shown so far throughout the World Cup that they're here and they're here to play and they're here to compete. They're not just here to be counted as a number that's been participating in this World Cup.
And I think we have to give it to Afghanistan, before coming into this World Cup, they had only won one match in the World Cup setting. Coming into the 2023 edition, they've won 3 matches so far, including that win against England, the defending champions. So there's definitely been improvement for this team, not so reliant on their top overs like they've been in the past few years. What do you think has improved for the team coming into this campaign?
Yeah, definitely. They've come a long way, Afghanistan. That is, and I think I credit a lot of it to having played quite a bit of this season here in India as well. So it's not entirely foreign conditions to them. They do know what to expect from different pitches in different locations. They have played at Lucknow as well, the pitch they're playing on today, where they hosted their first Test match against the West Indies, as well as played a couple of ODIs and T20s. So they may have a better clue as compared to Netherlands, what to expect out of the pitch today.
It's very important that you're speaking about that they know, because they've been playing at this venue for a very long time right now. Netherlands winning that toss and deciding to bet. Is that a very good thing, or would that work in any favor for Afghanistan?
Yeah, I think it might not be the worst decision ever right now, because Netherlands obviously looking to put a score on the board that's going to be able to pressure the West Indies, as well as we do know that there's not much change in this pitch as the day goes on, as it's two types of soils mixed together. It's not really going to change. There's not much of a dew factor as well coming into the evening that's going to contribute to it as well. So probably Netherlands looking to put some runs on the board and have the scoreboard pressure on their side, as well as a great bowling attack.
Yeah, and earlier on today, I was watching an interview of the Netherlands captain saying that they don't think that Afghanistan can cause an upset against them. If anything, they will be a team that Afghanistan should be looking out for. Very confident coming into this match. What do you think Afghanistan or even Netherlands will have to do differently just to make sure that they win today's match?
Yeah, just to give you a bit of a history on the pitch right now and the way it's been behaving so far in the current World Cup. Not one of the biggest run scoring pitches. However, we have seen South Africa come in on different teams coming in here and manage to score runs. It's not even the easiest track for you to come around and just shake up a few bowlers like what India did last night and tumble through what they did last night to tumble through Sri Lanka. It's going to be a case. It's one of those games that's going to bring out a lot of character. It's about teams coming on and presenting character and showing that they're here to give up some grit as well. It's one of those tracks that requires you to work for the runs that you get on this pitch. And not only just the runs, but if bowlers are not disciplined enough, it is the kind of patch that will make you find yourself chasing the ball to the boundary most of the day.
Yeah, and of course, while we get to ready, I believe that she also has questions for you. I have to put you on the spot and ask you, who do you think is winning today's match?
A very hard choice for me. Yeah, I've been supporting both these two teams from the start of the World Cup. So I'm going to be the mother bear in this equation and just sit on the fence and see what happens.
So you're just going to sit on the fence and see what happens. Who are the players that we can look for from both teams?
Yeah, definitely. Azmatullah Omazi's, he's been great. He's been in great form right now. He's currently one of the 5th highest for Afghanistan in the batting rankings, and he's been doing great stabilizing the innings. He just has the ability to come out and just soak up the pressure. Not to mention that they have a key player in Ibrahim Zadran opening the batting for them. He's just shown us that if he gets started in this World Cup, he can definitely get going. As long as he gets over the first hurdles, as long as he reads the pitch well enough and gives himself the chance to be able to play into his innings. Not to mention in the New Zealand coach, they have Aryan Dutt, who's been a key off spinner for them. He's bowled the first over for Netherlands in every match as well right now, and he's doing great. He's a great handy guy as well to have towards the end of the innings. He's able to come out and just free his arms and keep that scoreboard rolling, not just in ones and twos, but he can clear the rope as well. But in their captain as well, I'm sure, as I heard you guys mention early on, Scott Edwards has played against Afghanistan 3 times already and in every inning scored 50 runs plus. So he will be looking to continue his momentum today and possibly stick 100 to his name.
And of course, there will be players as well looking to make those, career milestones for themselves. But right now, I'll be giving it over to Candy, and I believe that she has something to be asking to you as well.
Thank you very much. Here it is. Just 2 questions. What are the strengths and weaknesses would you consider from each team?
Yeah, obviously, Afghanistan is done great. I think they usually just consider it as a spin bowling attack. But we did see Faisal Farooqi coming in last game as well and picking up 4 wickets. That does solidify the fact for them that they may be able to just come out here and cause a bit of upset. It doesn't matter whether it's just with spinners alone or it's with seamers as well. But they'll definitely be looking to be a lot more disciplined than they have in the past. And one thing that I'm definitely loving about this Afghanistan team is they've always been ranked as the team that has just Rashid Khan. But that has changed from just Rashid Khan as well. They still have Mujib in their settings as well that can come out and give you a couple of overs. We've seen Mujib opening the bowling on a couple of occasions and causing problems for everybody there. So I think that's one thing for them. For the Netherlands, I think they have an ultra-disciplined seam bowling attack with Van Meeken at the top. Not to mention they have the likes of left-arm spinner Roelof van der Merwe in the middle overs backing up Aryan Dutt. So both teams, for me, super strong on the bowling front. Not necessarily going to say they either spin bowling separate or seam bowling separate because they both have it going on for them. Maybe a couple of key weaknesses is they may look to go possibly a bit too hard up front and not air the wind of caution. But that's the game of cricket. If it works for you, no one's going to criticize it. When it doesn't work, then we all got something to say about it.
Yeah, most definitely. And like what you had said, they are well balanced for both seamers and the spinners, because based on the stats, they seem to be really doing well in the damage, but also a little bit struggling on the batting side. And the other thing, what are mostly the implications for the match from the both teams? Like, what are they looking forward to?
Yeah, obviously both teams know right now that if they win their next couple of games, they can have the chance of finding themselves within the top four. The interesting thing for me this morning, I was watching a couple of interviews over the past few days from both teams, and neither of them are entirely, Captain Scott Edwards mentioned to say that they weren't even aware of the Champions Trophy when they came into this campaign before starting the campaign. All their main focus was set a personal goal, and that was to make it into the top four. Same thing again, you hear the captain from Afghanistan as well mentioning that he's just here. They want to make it to the top four. These are two teams that are fighting. These are two teams that have grit for me. It takes a lot to be a quality team of skills, but these guys got the heart as well.
Uh, Definitely. And also, what are your thoughts on the Afghanistan team and also on the Netherlands team? Like, what progress they made in the past years, like in the past recent years?
Yeah, they've come a long way. We personally know as Zimbabweans that Afghanistan, a lot of their fixtures was set around playing us as well, and I think they've done well to broaden their horizon to get games in against other teams as well. This is why, for me, for both of them, the Champions Trophy is a brilliant opportunity. If they can make waves and make growth length that they've done in the past couple of years, playing against the likes of other test playing nations that aren't really ranked that high. What more when they start playing against the likes of New Zealand, when they start playing more often
Yeah.
against the likes of Australia, I believe they definitely will make bigger leaps and bounds in their growth as a team as well.
Yeah. And one last question from me before I hand it back to Naledi. What are the most important factors that will determine the outcome of the match?
Yeah, I think it's one of those you definitely need to be taking wickets early. And when you're not taking wickets, that is for Afghanistan, they need to be able to contain the run rate. Sorry about that. They need to be able to contain the run rate as well. You can see as is right now. I'm going to give you a current score update. The Netherlands are 17 for the loss of one as is. So already it's a good start from Afghanistan, I believe. But not one entirely for them to sit back and start getting complacent. There are the likes of Stoll Sybert, Ingleberg, and Scott Edwards in their innings of the Netherlands that are able to come in and take up that pressure, soak it up, and be able to convert and begin to start to reaccumulate runs for them. So I definitely advise either team right now to just stick to their guns and do what they know is possible. Interesting change for me in the Afghanistan lineup. You see the likes of Nabil Al Haq making way for Noor Ahmed. And Noor Ahmed is one guy for me. He's a great spin bowler, and it's just going to show you that right now Afghanistan looking to go with a four spin bowling attack versus the Netherlands. That means Netherlands need to be in tune. That means they need to be prepared to face at least 35 to 40 overs of spin in this game.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
Nabila and Noah Ahmed, he's been great. He took 3 for 22 the other day as well. So he has the ability to come in and cause a lot of problems. I think at this stage for me, it's like I said, it's hard for me to pick a side here. So I'm gonna keep giving you the good things about both teams, what they gotta just do right, and we see who manages to do it better for the longer period of time.
Sure. Definitely. Thank you very much. And hand it back to Naledi.
Thank you so much, Tasman, for joining us. We'll be bringing you a bit later on to just, account. Well, you've been very safe in this one. You said that you just sit on the fence and see who will come out victorious. So that is very safe from you. Thank you so much for the time.
Thanks, A. Thanks for having me.
Very interesting views there from Tasman saying that both teams, this is anyone's game to win.
Exactly.
So whoever that wins this match shows that they really wanted to win it.
Yeah, and they know that they're like one step ahead of the other team because they all want to be in the top seven. And now it's a matter of can they crawl enough to be in the top four and cause that havoc. So it's quite an eye-opening, and based on the stats here from one of the Netherlands player,
Yes.
Krita, yeah, the names are quite difficult. in the ODI World Cup stats, they say as much as he's not playing today, he has been scoring runs like 12 of 22. It's like less than 50 runs, really, but he's one of the people who are considered to be the most experienced players in the squad. But right now, he's not playing in the squad, so I'm not so sure who's replacing him, but it shows that they to do some rotation as well for the Netherlands teams.
And we'll see how that match stands. As it stands, it is 27 for the loss of one. So in the first power play, not too bad for Afghanistan, but I'm sure that they would want to go into the second power play with at least 3 wickets down. I feel like that would be a very decent start for them.
Definitely, definitely. And what I've noticed in that stadium, Ikana Stadium, like the ODI records, 13 matches have been played, like what you had said earlier on. Only 4 have been won if we are betting first.
Yeah.
Then the majority is from the bowling first, the 9 wins. Then averaging in the first inning score, it's 229. Then second innings, it's 207. So like what Charles was saying, that it's a really hard pitch to score runs at, but the moment you've gotten that momentum, you can get up to 200. Yesterday, Sri Lanka failed to even reach 50. So it shows today as well, it might not be that easy win or easy loss. So we'll see if they'll manage to get more than the high score right now, which is 229.
So the team that has, batted first in that stadium has lost more, right?
Yeah.
Less wins for them.
Mhm.
All right. So we'll see if Netherlands really did a great job choosing to bat first event at that iconic stadium. You and I will be coming back a bit later on to just, give updates as to what's happening in that match. But right now, that is where we are living it from, and we'll be back in a moment.